Imagine waking up tomorrow with unshakable confidence, the kind that makes people turn their heads when you walk into a room. Picture yourself handling criticism like water off a duck's back, speaking your truth without fear, and commanding respect without ever raising your voice. This isn't fantasy. This is what the ancient Stoics mastered over 2,000 years ago. And in the next 7 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to do the same. Stick with me because tip number 9 is going to completely transform how you see yourself, and most people never discover it. Let's start with something that's probably destroying your confidence right now without you even realizing it. The Stoics called it the dichotomy of control, but here's what it really means for you. Right now, you're wasting massive amounts of mental energy worrying about things you can't control. What people think of you, whether you'll get that promotion, if someone will text you back. Marcus Aurelius, literally the emperor of Rome, wrote in his private journal that he started every day reminding himself that he would encounter rude people, ungrateful people, jealous people. But here's the twist. He didn't try to control them. He only controlled his response. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, something magical happens. Your personality becomes magnetic because you're no longer desperate for approval. You're no longer walking on eggshells. You become someone who's comfortable in their own skin, and people can feel that energy from across the room. Now here's where most people get confidence completely backwards. They think confidence means always being right, always winning, always looking perfect. The Stoics knew better. Epictetus was born a slave, yet he became one of the most influential philosophers in history. How? He practiced something that sounds counterintuitive, but works like magic. He actively imagined the worst-case scenarios, not to be negative, but to remove their power over him. Think about whatever makes you nervous right now. Public speaking, asking someone out, starting that business. Now ask yourself, what's genuinely the worst that could happen? Really think about it. You stumble over your words? You get rejected? You fail? Okay, would you die? Would you lose everyone you love? Would your life be over? Of course not. When you mentally rehearse these scenarios, when you accept that yes, things might not go perfectly, you remove fear's grip on you. Suddenly you can walk into that room, have that conversation, take that risk, because you've already made peace with the worst outcome. That's not pessimism, that's freedom. Let's talk about something that's probably sabotaging you every single day. The Stoics were obsessed with this, and modern psychology has proven they were right. Your morning sets the tone for everything. Seneca used to say that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. And he's talking about those first moments when you wake up and immediately grab your phone. You scroll through social media, see people's highlight reels, check your emails, read the news, and within minutes your mind is scattered in 1,000 directions. Meanwhile, someone out there is waking up, spending 10 minutes in silence, setting their intentions, deciding who they're going to be that day. Who do you think walks through their day with more confidence? The Stoics practiced what they called morning contemplation. Before the chaos of the day touched them, they reminded themselves of their principles. You don't need an hour. 5 minutes of sitting quietly, visualizing yourself handling the day's challenges with grace and strength will change your entire energy. Your personality isn't fixed. It's built through these small daily choices that compound over time. Here's a brutal truth that will set you free. You're not as important as you think you are. Wait, hear me out. Right now, you're probably paralyzed by what people might think about you. You rehearse conversations in your head. You replay that awkward thing you said 3 days ago. You wonder if people noticed your mistake. Meanwhile, those people are doing the exact same thing, obsessing about themselves. The Stoics understood what psychologists now call the spotlight effect. You think everyone's watching you, judging you, remembering your failures, but they're not. They're too busy worrying about themselves. Marcus Aurelius put it perfectly. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. When you truly internalize that most people are barely thinking about you because they're consumed with their own lives, something incredible happens. You stop performing. You stop trying to impress. You just become authentically you. And ironically, that's when people actually start paying attention, because authenticity is rare and magnetic. Now let's talk about how to handle criticism, because this is where most people's confidence crumbles. Someone criticizes you, and suddenly you're questioning everything about yourself. The Stoics had a two-step filter that's pure gold. First, they asked, is this criticism true? If it is, fantastic. You just got free information on how to improve. That's not an attack, that's a gift. Thank them and grow. Second, if it's not true, why would you care about a false opinion? Marcus Aurelius was literally criticized by Roman senators, historians, and rivals, and he wrote this down. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Think about that. You know yourself better than anyone. You know your intentions, your efforts, your journey. Why would you let someone who doesn't know your full story shake your foundation? When someone criticizes you, pause. Filter it through truth. Keep what's useful, discard what's not, and move forward. That's the personality of someone unshakable. Here's something the Stoics practice that sounds simple, but will transform how people perceive you. Speak less, listen more, and when you speak, mean it. Epictetus said we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. Confident people don't need to fill every silence. They don't need to prove how smart they are. They ask questions. They're genuinely curious. They make others feel heard. And here's the secret. When you do speak, your words carry weight because you're not just talking to talk. You're adding value. Think about the most confident person you know. I guarantee they're not the loudest person in the room. They're the one who speaks with intention, whose presence commands attention without demanding it. Start practicing this today. In your next conversation, focus entirely on the other person. Really listen. Ask follow-up questions. Notice how the dynamic shifts. Notice how much more confident you feel when you're not scrambling to impress anyone. Let's address something that kills more dreams than failure ever will. The fear of judgment when you try something new. The Stoics had a practice called voluntary discomfort. They intentionally did things that made them uncomfortable to build resilience. Seneca would sleep on the floor sometimes, wear cheap clothes, live on simple food, just to prove to himself that the things he feared weren't actually that bad. You need to apply this to your personality and confidence. Do something small every day that scares you a little. Speak up in a meeting. Wear something bold. Start that conversation. Post that idea. Each time you do, you're proving to yourself that discomfort won't kill you. You're expanding your comfort zone. And here's what nobody tells you. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's a skill you build through repeated exposure to fear. Every time you feel that nervousness and do it anyway, you're literally rewiring your brain. You're becoming someone new. Here's the game changer I promised you earlier, and this one's deep. The Stoics believe that your character is your destiny, not your circumstances, not your luck, your character. And your character is built through your choices in small moments when nobody's watching. How you treat the waiter, whether you keep your word on little things, if you gossip or defend someone who isn't there. These moments define you. Marcus Aurelius wrote that, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be, just be one." Your personality and confidence don't come from techniques or tricks. They come from knowing deep down that you're someone of integrity. When you align your actions with your values, when you do the right thing even when it's hard, even when nobody will know, you build an unshakable foundation. You walk differently because you know who you are, and people feel that. They might not be able to explain it, but they sense that you're someone solid, someone real, someone trustworthy. Now here's something powerful about handling setbacks. The Stoics didn't just accept obstacles, they loved them. Marcus Aurelius said the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Think about this. Every rejection, every failure, every embarrassment is actually building your confidence if you frame it correctly. It's proof that you tried. It's data on what doesn't work. It's evidence that you're in the arena instead of sitting in the stands. The people with the strongest personalities aren't those who never failed. They're the ones who failed publicly, learned, and kept going. When something goes wrong today, catch yourself. Instead of thinking, "Why does this always happen to me?" ask, "What is this teaching me? How is this making me stronger?" That simple shift in perspective changes everything. Let's talk about presence, because this is what separates people who command a room from those who fade into the background. The Stoics practiced something they called attending to the present moment, not dwelling on past mistakes, not anxious about future outcomes. Right here, right now. When you're in a conversation and your mind is already jumping to what you'll say next or replaying something embarrassing from earlier, you're not present, and people can tell. Your energy is scattered. But when you're fully here, looking someone in the eye, actually absorbing their words, responding authentically, you create a connection that's magnetic. This is advanced confidence. It's not about you anymore. It's about being so grounded in yourself that you can give others your full attention. Practice this. The next time you're talking to someone, notice when your mind wanders. Gently bring it back. Be here. Watch how the quality of your interactions transforms. Here's your final lesson, and it's the one that ties everything together. The Stoics believed in memento mori, remember you will die. Before you think that's dark, understand what it really means. Your time is limited, ridiculously limited. So why are you wasting it being someone you're not? Why are you dimming your light to make others comfortable? Why are you holding back your voice, your ideas, your authentic self? When you truly grasp that this life is temporary, that one day you'll be gone and nobody will remember how carefully you avoided embarrassment, something shifts. You realize that the only real failure is dying without ever showing the world who you actually are. Your confidence doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from accepting your imperfection and showing up anyway. Your personality isn't something you need to build from scratch. It's something you need to uncover by removing all the layers of fear and pretense you've built up. So here's what I want you to do. Pick one of these 12 Stoic principles, just one, and practice it today. Not tomorrow, today. And then drop a comment below telling me which one you chose and how it went. I read every single comment, and I want to hear your story. And if this video gave you even one insight that could change your life, share it with someone who needs to hear this. Your personality and confidence aren't destinations. They're daily practices. Start today. Start now. The Stoics proved it works 2,000 years ago, and it'll work for you too.